some of the human beings in the cast wouldn't eat with me, would not shake my hand, and would not be with me inside the identical room due to the fact they were afraid they could deliver their youngsters or someone AIDS in the event that they did not understand if they shook my hand, if the makeup element, there was simply weeks and weeks of being very careful, like the mythical phoenix rising from the ashes. Linda Evans, the epitome of splendor and energy in Hollywood, emerged from years of manipulate and struggling to reclaim herself. On display screen, she dazzled as Crystal Carrington in Dynasty, but in the back of the glamour lay a lifestyle shattered into fragments, failed marriages, bitter betrayals, and years of solitude without youngsters. For 8 years, Linda Evans lived underneath the suffocating shadow of John Derek's manipulate. She gave up her profession, sacrificed the whole lot for romance. Handiest to observe the person she relied on most flip his back on her, publicly betraying her with an 18-month, 12-month vintage girl. When their marriage crumbled, Linda stood on the edge of an abyss, dealing with humiliation and wounds that appeared not possible to heal. But then, something unbelievable occurred. From the ashes of heartbreak, Linda rose once more and observed the mild in her lifestyles. How did she transform pain into electricity, and how did that adventure trade her all the time? Let's delve into the dramatic and emotional tale of Linda Evans, a celeb who's shown no longer best on display screen, but additionally as a symbol of resilience. At the age of 18, Linda Evans entered her first severe courting with Patrick Curtis, who would later emerge as a famous film producer and publicist. From 1960 to 1962, Linda and Patrick had been engaged, but their dating was not, by no means, led to marriage. Patrick Curtis later won prominence as both the manager and husband of Hollywood beauty icon Raquel Welch. Though short, Linda's courting with Curtis marked the primary turning point in her journey of affection and private discovery, a meaningful bankruptcy before she ventured into deeper and greater complicated relationships within the years yet to come. Like a love story that appeared almost ideal, John Derek entered Linda Evans' existence when she becomes simply 26, taking her first steps in a promising career. At 42, John was already a pro-big name, renowned now not most effective for his hanging allure, however, additionally for his high-profile relationships with Ursula Andress and a number of Hollywood's most well-known leading women. The 12 months age hole did not deter Linda. On the contrary, it only heightened the charm of a mature man she saw as an excellent role version. But at the back of that apparently perfect outdoors had been caution signs that Linda, blinded by admiration and infatuation, did not see. John became no longer just a skilled man. He changed into also recognized for his controlling nature in relationships. From the very beginning, he exerted an effective, have an impact on over Linda, and she, with a heart complete of love and hope, willingly conventional it. Before lengthy, John asked Linda to surrender her growing career to become a devoted housewife. To Linda, this decision became an act of love and commitment. But in reality, it marked the start of a life in which she regularly misplaced her experience of autonomy. From the manner she dressed to the pals she saved, each aspect of Linda's lifestyles needed to be accredited with the aid of John. The stress of the connection changed into, no longer, without delay, obvious, but it slowly seeped into every nook of her lifestyles, eroding her sense of self. One of the maximum telling examples of John's manage changed into his insistence that Linda pose for Playboy in 1971. Under her husband's stress, she agreed, in spite of feeling no enthusiasm for it. For John, it turned into probable a manner to claim his dominance, but for Linda it became a sacrifice. An try and please her husband rather than a preference born from private preference. The images could later resurface in 1982 when Linda turned 40, solidifying her photograph as a timeless beauty. Yet in addition, they served as a stark reminder of the pressure she had endured in her marriage. Linda entered this courting believing that love required sacrifice. She conceived that relinquishing her profession and personal freedom changed into a fair alternate for the happiness of a circle of relatives, a rate she became inclined to pay. However, reality proved in any other case that sacrifice handiest left her feeling trapped and suffocated. The idyllic vision of own family life she had once loved slowly dissolved, replaced with the aid of disillusionment and a developing feel of loss. The maximum heartbreaking component became that at the time Linda did no longer even understand she became being manipulated. She believed that each choice John made got here from love, that he simplest desired what was satisfactory for both of them, but that love, in place of bringing her peace, had become the heaviest burden of her existence, a fee she in no way foresaw while she stepped into this dating. The turning point got here in 1973, whilst John Derek began an affair with Mary Kathleen Collins, an 18-year vintage female. Later, Mary would exchange her name to Bo Derek and grow to be a Hollywood beauty icon. But Derek failed to just betray Linda, he flaunted his infidelity, overtly taking Bo overseas to Germany and Greece to keep away from criminal issues, because of their 30-year age difference. For Linda, this wasn't only a devastating surprise, it became a public humiliation. She became the center of gossip at the same time as Derek faced extreme grievance for his selfishness. Linda later admitted that this was the darkest duration of her life, left her feeling abandoned and completely lost. It wasn't just the pain of a broken coronary heart, she turned into additionally affected by self-doubt, comparing herself to a younger, extra-vibrant woman. Yet, regardless of the significant harm, she chose to remain silent in the front of the media, refusing to talk out even when she changed into located in a not-possible role. Was it because, deep down, she nonetheless desired to defend the picture of the person she had once taken into consideration, the affection of her existence? Was it an act of grace, or simply resignation within the face of helplessness? Linda persevered to be the concern of relentless hypothesis while John and Bo loved their passionate romance without a care for the pain they had inflicted upon her. This betrayal plunged Linda right into a deep emotional disaster. She realized that every sacrifice she had, from giving up her career to residing below John's manipulate, had been for not anything. Perhaps this become a harsh lesson for all girls. Never alternate your profession for love. In 1973, after 8 years of a painful marriage, Linda Evans made the bold choice to give up it. Divorce changed into now not simply an escape, it became an announcement of her self-confidence. She knew that to reclaim herself, she had to break free from the man who had stripped her of her freedom and dignity. In later interviews, Linda admitted that the choice had not been easy. She had as soon as loved John deeply, however she understood that she should no longer hold in a relationship built on manipulate. This turned into step one in Linda's rebirth, permitting her to regain her lifestyles and profession. Years later, Bo Derek overtly mentioned that, despite being young, while the relationship began, she had a few awareness of the outcomes of her actions. I turned into younger. Yes, but I thought about it. I do not know why I never linked the dots or took obligation for the breakdown in their marriage. The dots just did not connect for some time. But looking back, I hate myself for doing that. It's the worst aspect you could do. Bo candidly reflected on her arguable affair with John Derek, especially the impact it had on Linda Evans, his then-wife. In a 2016 interview with Interview magazine, Bo expressed her regret. I felt so horrible, approximately it. At the time, John became married to Linda, someone I worshipped and widespread, and a person who have been especially kind to me. And then, while the entirety befell, I needed to take at least 1/2 the duty for the deep pain she went through. She introduced, I assume it become just an excuse. It become, nevertheless, the wrong thing to do, underscoring the inescapable outcomes of beyond mistakes. No, remember how complicated the situations, A few wounds never truly heal, and on this tragic entanglement, nobody suffered more than Linda. Regardless of Beau's remorse, not anything could undo the tough truth of what had transpired. 3 lives deeply scarred, with the aid of a painful betrayal. After her painful first marriage to John Derrick and an unfulfilled second marriage to Stan Herman, Linda Evans persisted her journey in search of love. Though her marriage to Stan, which lasted from 1975 to 1979, supplied wish for stability, their differing lifestyles made it not possible to maintain. Linda remained a busy Hollywood megastar, even as Stan sought a less difficult, own family life.